Hello, everybody. Back in Vietnam, back in Ho Chi Minh City. Was away the other week in Thailand, and yeah, it was a good trip. My wife was just saying to me tonight, when are you going to do another video or do another update video? So I thought, oh well, yeah, better do another one. Better get the old man to do another one. Um, One of the things I wanted to talk about tonight was actually, I mean, something that obviously I've known for a long time, but obviously being over in Thailand. I noticed a lot actually that there's a lot of Western guys over there from different Western countries, um, and sort of older guys, particularly that that have probably divorced, they've already been married or whatever, and they're looking for a new partner. Yeah, people sort of think, well, why do so many Western guys come to Asia and look for that are attracted to Asian women? Well, I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. In Western countries, when the guys are older, nobody wants to have anything to do with them. That's Western society. If you're not a young person, they see you as like you're dead. You're over the hill. You're in the gutter. It's like you're no longer, from a relationship point of view, a good catch. But in Asia, that's not the case at all. The age is not. It doesn't matter. It's not. They're not judged on age like they are in Western culture. So that's the first thing. The second thing I would say is that um, in Western culture, not when I was growing up, when I was young, but now, and I know this by speaking to many people from around the world, from Western countries, and people that I know, and their sons or their daughters or whatever, is that things have really, really changed. In Western culture now, the particularly for men, the young women today are very demanding. They bring very little value to a man, to the relationship, and they expect everything. And they are looking for the perfect guy. Oh, he's got to earn six figures. Oh, he's got to be 6 foot tall, or let's say 185 centimeters tall. Oh, he's got to be athletic. Oh, he's got to own a house. Oh, he's got to own a car, and all this sort of thing. And the bottom line is that these young women today in Western culture, I'm not saying that everybody's like this. I'm not trying to generalize. I'm just trying to say this is the case with a lot of them, not all of them, but they don't bring any value anymore to men. A lot of them can't even cook anymore. They earn far less money than the guy, but that's beside the point. That's not the point. They are lazy. They don't want to do anything around the home. They don't do any, they'd rather get a housemaid or whatever. So for a guy, they bring very little value to the relationship. So if you're a man and you've got a good job, and say you've got a home or car, whatever the situation is, you want a woman who's or a partner in your life that is going to bring something to the relationship, because otherwise in the long term it's just not going to work. And the reality is, in Western culture now, that's not the case. They bring very little value. Well, they bring themselves. Well, that doesn't hold water. That doesn't last for long. And on top of that, they're very demanding to the guys. So that's one of the single biggest things. And I said to you, like, particularly if you look at in Asia with Western guys, a lot of them that come up here, the older guys, they've probably already had a bad marriage. A lot of them, or they've had if not married, they've had bad experiences in the past. And so they're looking for a genuine life partner. They're looking for genuine love. Um, and a lot of the women in Asia still have those old fashioned values that men in Western culture want. That's what they want. They want that old fashioned. You know, Men are very basic creatures, particularly in Western culture. At the end of the day, um, they're looking for a partner that's going to support them, be there for them, that's going to look after that they will work hard, they'll have a good job, and they'll work hard for their partner and their family. But they just want to be supported. and looked after in the home, and the partners will always be there for them, um, and not spend a shitload of money and not worry about that side of it either, and be superficial or fake, as I say. Just those old basic values. And, us men are basic, as long as their stomachs are full, and we like a good meal, and we get regular sex, and our partners are there, we're as happy as pig and shit, we're as happy as. We're not complicated. Maybe women think we are, but we're not complicated. So, from a Western guy's point of view, I've had this comment where they go, "Oh yeah, like you see these Western guys in Asia, and they're with a woman that she's not really beautiful." Well, hang on a second. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as they say. So everybody's different. Everybody's got different tastes. Everybody's, we're not all. If we were all the same and we all wanted the same thing, the world would be a boring place. So, but what do we look for first? Well, as I said to you, we like those old-fashioned values. We're not interested in these beauty contest women that you look at in Asia. Let's take, for instance, I live in Vietnam, but I've seen this in other Asian countries. And you see these stunning women, they've had their lips done, they've had their face done, they've had their boobs done, they've had their ass done, they've had everything done, and they just look like a plastic doll. And from a Western guy's point of view, they look at that and they go, she's going to cost me a shitload of money. All she's interested in is herself. She's self-absorbed, fake, and very, very vain of herself. Well, that's not somebody that you want to be with. That's not somebody you want as a partner. So that's what a lot of them look at. So what do they look in with Asian? As I said, the most important thing is old-fashioned family values. That's the first thing. And then what value, what do they bring to the relationship? Yeah, of course, you have to be physically attracted, as I say, not talking about beauty, but you have to be physically attractive. But that's not the most important thing. We as Western guys, we look at the overall thing. I mean, of course, obviously, you have to be able to communicate. If you can either talk in the local language or you have to be able to talk good English. If you don't have good communication, or the relationship is just not going to work and it's not going to last. So Western guys are more open, they're more sharing. They see women as more equals. They're more than say maybe in from an Asian guy's point of view. The reality is, are women and men equal? Well, no, they're not. What I mean by that is that women and men have different places in society. For instance, to give you an instance, is men better at doing a construction job than women are? Well, of course they are, because physically men are stronger. Are women are better at men at doing, say, for instance, jobs in customer service or in financial or in retail? Well, of course they are. They're far better at than men are, because women are better at detail than men are. Far better at the detail. That's why women make better money managers than guys do. That's reality. But in Western culture, women and men, or men to women, men respect women, highly respect them. They're highly respected. So that's that for me from quickly, because I'm trying to limit this video to 10 minutes. So this is going to be like a part 1 video. But that's sort of like really in a quick instance. I'm going to do a part 2 video on this because too much to talk about for part 1. So yeah.